Things we might find when we can't even see. Hello everyone, and welcome to LIDAR Exploration Program, a game in which we are totally blind, save for the projection of our LIDAR scanner. Now for those who don't know, what that means is that we can't see a thing using our own eyes. Instead, we'll have to use our LIDAR scanner to essentially paint the world around us, and when it shoots out these little dots using lasers, wherever they land will kind of leave a dot suspended in the air, and when you take the whole of that image, you get an image like the one we see before us. All we're seeing is essentially a snapshot of these locations the last time we scanned them. Now, I've played a couple of games that used this style before, mainly Scanner Somber and The Voidness. The creator notes that there are some light horror elements to this. However, the emphasis is firmly on the exploration, which I think is a really cool direction to take this genre. I mean, I primarily do exploration games on this channel, but this is a very different way to experience that, where it's almost like we're feeling our way around in the dark, but retaining the information and sort of painting our own picture in our own way as we go. I also want to thank the developer for providing me with this free key. You found a suspicious box in your room. Open it? Sure thing. LIDAR Exploration Program. Congratulations! You found a case containing a mystical CD. Do you want to know what's on this disc? Obviously. Are you sure you want to insert it into your computer? Well, we've come this far. It's like a DOS program. Remember, you are the only observer. Oh hey, it's Scanny. Hello and welcome to the LIDAR Exploration Program. My name is Scanny, and I will be your assistant. You'll have to explore different locations and scan various objects. Well, let's not waste time and move on to choosing a level. Oh, look at this. There's a central hub from the menu, and we really are just exploring different environments as we go. That's really cool, so if anything, the hidden object element of this sort of makes it like a LIDAR-based interior worlds. Not to mention, we're also hearing different music associated with each one. So it's got this really chill vibe to it where it really wants us to just space out and piece it together little by little. Oh, I'm gonna love this, I think. Alright, let's go. Forest. So, first hold the left mouse button to use the scanner. And there we go, we're projecting the first of our dots. Let's do a little bit more. Great, you're doing well. Now, scroll the mouse wheel or press plus or minus to change the scanning radius. And we can see that represented by the lower number. That number is increasing as we go. So if we put our radius all the way up, that's all you need to know, I guess. Good luck, and bye. Alright, so now you'll see, as we increase the scan radius, It covers a wider area, but the dots are less densely clustered, and therefore we need to wait longer to get a more clearly resolved image. Oh, I forgot to tell you something very important. Open the map using Tab. Oh, look at that. See the markers? They indicate objects that need to be scanned. I see, so we do have some guidance. There are only 6 objects in this location to complete it. Good luck. Now, if it's anything like other LIDAR games I've played in the past, these different colors actually sort of represent different textures. For example here, brown indicates wood, while green indicates the grass below it. I find that when I look really, really closely, it just looks like a smattering of colors. But when I lean my head way back from the monitor, then I'm able to appreciate the greater picture. Of course, this is all very line of sight focused, so if we want to be able to see things clearly, it's important to get a good, deep scan. And if we look at the map, that's pulling back even further, and we can see that there are like cliff walls all around us. That's all in the periphery though, so it's the least dense scan. I can barely make it out on my own. Well, for now, let's ignore the markers and just explore all we can. After all, the more we paint, the better of an idea we'll have. We can see some wilted trees sagging right here. And I'm tripping over all kinds of dead branches on the ground. The only sound we can hear is our LIDAR scanner, so we actually can't hear even wind or birds chirping. We have no idea what's even there. And that's what I love about the LIDAR genre. It's essentially a handicap and a superpower simultaneously. It's all about how we look at it. Now, we can't seem to go back that way. We're on something of a linear path at the moment. And over here, we were picking up blue for a second, but maybe that was just pointing out the outer edge of what we could see. All right, let's go for a slightly narrower look, making sure we look up every now and then. I mean, the cool thing is we effectively have no peripheral vision. If we want to notice something, we have to notice it ourselves and deliberately, specifically focus. There's a tree right there, but the further away we go, the more things turn to blue, presumably to provide contrast with the closer things. This has been a pretty linear path, so maybe we'll just follow it, because it's clearly going to tutorialize us when we get there. Look at that. Straight lines and spikes on top. This is a gate with some kind of sign or barrier in front of it. Now I wonder what that number above, I mean clearly it represents the amount of scanning I've done, but what is it actually measuring? I mean there's a lot more than 930 dots on the ground. This gate is open, but the forest grows ever denser. Now see, this is what I mean when I say that it's a handicap and a superpower. We can't perceive motion, we can't perceive things moving right in front of our face unless we scan them, but we can see things that are all the way over there. We have ultimate spatial awareness. Oh. Create 1 million dots. So imagine that decimal as a comma. And all this foreground does make it a little bit trickier. Also, look here. See, it is, once again, all very line of sight based, so if we're scanning an object, that'll create a visible shadow in our perception. The more there is around us, the more we need to be thorough and scan around those things. There's a canopy of tree cover above us. Things are opening up considerably. Ooh. But we can actually hear other things, and I think we're getting closer to our destination. There's a lazy river flowing under a bridge. See, I get the impression that this would be a real relaxing spot to take a stroll through, but it kind of has that horror tinge because it always feels like night. We can't tell if it's night or day, of course. That eerie soundtrack certainly isn't helping the perception. I hear a heartbeat. There's some strange archways here. And because we can't perceive texture, congratulations! You just scanned your first object. I should call you Clappy. Only 5 objects left. Ah, so that really is all there is to it. We just have to scan these things and get at least a somewhat complete picture so we can tell what they are. Now this is really strange, just presumably stone archways in the forest. What kind of forest is this? It's kind of on you to interpret what you're seeing, because of course you can't perceive texture in the normal way. Sometimes you may need to scan more for further clues, other times things may just remain ambiguous. Well, the world is opening up before us. Oh, look at that. So this is handling LIDAR very differently in that we can perceive motion. It's just that we have to scan you first. Now, in most games, we wouldn't be able to see this moving. We would just, if we continuously scanned, we would either stop and see it remain where we last saw it, or it would appear as a smear as we continuously go. So there's a windmill. Looks like it's falling apart, though. It's missing some pieces. And we cannot go inside. I can hear more water over here. Ah. A bench. But the seat has collapsed. So it seems like this was a comfy place at one time, but it's since fallen into disrepair. No one's maintaining it. There is something, another scannable up ahead. But let's move all along the shore. There we are. Oh, look. There's a rock on the shoreline, which gives us a nice view of the other side. Maybe we could even jump if we needed to. Ooh. I also wonder what'll happen if we fall in. There is a bank on the other side. Some cliffs right here. And a little mill. All of this a beautiful countryside, but we're forced to perceive it completely differently. And that's what I love about games like this. It completely changes our perception of things that we would otherwise already have some feelings associated with. Now, if I were to look at the map right now... Okay, I can't walk while in the map, even though it sort of looks... Oh, wait, no, maybe I'm just stuck. Can walk while I'm in the map view, and that actually is quite spectacular when you look at it this way. This is such a pretty looking game. It's beautiful and creepy, and that's why this is so appealing. Got something over here. Something is a bit of an understatement. Oh, it's some huge tree. I think. Let's scan upward. There are things, cages maybe, hanging from its branches? And with the heartbeat, when we get close to something we need to scan, yes, I am definitely feeling the interior world's influence on this. But what is it that's hanging? Oh. No, not cages. I can see something sticking out of the front. I think those are birdhouses. Very big houses, or maybe we're very small. I wonder what it would look like in LIDAR if we got swept away by a pterodactyl right now. These look like old ruins. Like this used to be a doorway, but the whole wall is crumbled. I just keep getting stuck on objects in the environment, but that's my fault for not scanning them. Yeah, look at this. Can we scan the interior at all? Just a little bit. Yeah, we're in the remains of the ruins of what may be a whole village. But that exploration is short-lived. What's cool is that even when you're scanning other objects, you don't even realize that you're scanning the background, and so things are already a little bit easier when you get there. I mean, the idea of having to paint the entire environment, it feels extremely overwhelming at first. Oh, if we back up a little bit, we get a description of the item, the mystic tree. Wait, so if we pan around some more, the strange arch. Dude, I am loving this. What is... That's a bear. That's a bear! Find one animal. Well, it doesn't seem to be coming after us. It's good to know that we're not alone here, but also we're not alone with a bear, so maybe that's not the best thing? Very majestic, though. It's just cool how the perception of the world truly is what we make of it. Nothing more, nothing less. Okay, we've made our way to the other side here. Small traveler, walk 1 kilometer. It's already been 1 whole kilometer? It doesn't feel like it. An elk? Hey, if I were to tame you, and like you actually let me ride you and I use you as my steed, could I say that that's my elk amigo? I'm sorry, that was very forced. But worth it. Ooh, there's something here. Have I found the Baba Yaga? It looks like parts of it have long ago rotted away. There's a big hole in the floor, though. Alright, keep exploring. We are coming to the edges. I'm kind of trending towards places I've already been because I know it has to stop me somewhere. But man, just how high do these cliffs go? That's the challenge of this area, just so much foreground. That and a total desert would be challenging in different ways. found something. I'm just bumping into stuff left and right. A giant skeletal deer. It really sounds like you're moving, even if it's ever so subtly. Okay, that's, what, 3 out of 6? Not every landmark is a necessary scannable, but if anything, that just shows that blindly following the markers is not the way to go, at least not if we want to get the most out of this environment. $4 million dots are what give us this perception. We're just getting started. Alright, more this way. Let's trend more this way. Here's something. Ooh, something very, very tall. Some kind of ruin. I'm hearing something else over here. What is it? It's just rushing water from a waterfall. Beautiful. I needed that distraction, but right now, we're heading back to the strange shrine in the woods. Object scanned. Ancient artifact. And we can walk right between it, although in doing so, I kind of feel like I'm awakening some ancient entity that maybe hasn't had company in quite some time. Maybe it's just happy I'm saying hi. Then again, we are in the same woods as this skeletal deer god. Alright, where should we head next? Well, first of all, I want to paint a little bit more. Come on. One issue is that when I get stuck on something, I tend to really get stuck. Like, I have to jump into all kinds of things to unwedge myself. Let's get more on the back of this thing so I can see it more clearly. There we are. We are here. Most everything we want to see is over on the left, and in fact, we have not crossed that bridge yet. It's so funny, these moments where I go to walk forward, I start scanning and I realize, oh no, you're about to walk into the wall that's right there. There's our strange archway. And there's our new bridge. $5 million dots. You could probably do a challenge run of this, of trying to create as few dots as possible. Of course, I'm not trying for that right now. I would like to be able to see. Probably also makes for a better viewing experience, huh? But the forest is getting a bit denser here. Kind of like how it was when we entered this area. And this place is just full of elk and skeletons and bears. Oh my. That looks to be another gate. Also, I thought about recording this in 4K. It would probably give you a clearer picture. I don't believe anybody had problems with Scanner Somber or the Voidness. It's just that a video like this tends to be like very high detail and therefore very harsh on the recording space. Another closed gate. But it's just another entrance. We definitely haven't been here before. I was really messed up by the Gary's Mod LIDAR mod, because that actually starts deleting dots behind you after a while. Is there something up here? I don't think we can jump that way. Nope. Oh, please don't be stuck. Please don't be stuck. Thank you. Now this seems to take place, like, narratively, in the 90s or early 2000s. I mean, definitely more 90s if the DOS-like UI of the computer is anything to go by. It's weird how this both does and doesn't look like something that would be possible at the time, you know? Wait, is the path branching here? I think it's just separated in the middle. There's some rocky outcrops here. I'm not scanning upward enough. I think that's part of the problem as well. Because there, I mean, it's a forest. There's a wealth of detail up there. Oops. Why can't I move? Yeah, when you walk directly into something, I don't know if that's like a bug or what, when you walk directly into something, you tend to stick to it. I mean, there was so much over here. Let's check the map. It seems like it maybe really is. Huh. Well, I mean, that's thumbnail material. Dude, being able to see this and the dots moving around each other in 3D, it gives such an awe-inspiring sense of scale, which is why it's so cool that we were the ones to do all this. Unfortunately, we're nowhere near our things. So let's start the run back. I really do have to wonder what the upper limit of these dots is before performance just totally tanks. Like, does this game have a way of dealing with that? I don't know how I'm getting to you. Maybe I do just have to follow the river. I can just walk in it no problem. I think I heard something. Look at that, we can see the tree roots growing through these outcrops. Alright, we need to make sure these wall boundaries are nice and clear. More fallen trees. Oh, and by following this river, we can actually get around to the other side of this gate. Huh. That's not a sign, it's actually a bench. The other one probably was too. Almost like, yeah, we know you came all this way, but this place is someplace we don't go anymore, so you may as well have a seat before heading on your way. Look at this. It's like a nice still pond right at the end. And there's something up ahead. And we've passed directly through it. Or not. Wait. Whatever it is, it's beyond here. Oh, it's this structure. We got stairs leading in. Ooh. Is this some kind of temple or cathedral? Let's get a scan of the interior. I can't make out very much. Alright, what do we call you? The ruined temple. And it's cool because with the way it's textured you and the way it's textured this, it's almost like you're illuminated by lamps. But of course, that's just us projecting, no pun intended, like different connotations onto the images we're seeing. Yellow equals the warm glow of a light fixture, but what it really means is stone. Look at that, there's a bridge going over this. A boat in the middle of the river, but left completely abandoned. An abandoned boat is always a strange thing. Beyond the arch, then, we never went through. Now, lily pads, flowers in a tiny little pond. I can even hear the little squish of my shoes here as the ground is so wet. Oops. I don't want to step in it and ruin the ecosystem. Ooh, there's another. This one goes around a lot further. And there's something in the dark over there. There's all these roots hanging down from above. It's almost like the water level used to be much higher. Oh, those are some giant lilies. What are you? Wait, suspicious toilet? Hello? An exit marker has appeared on the map. Follow it to leave this location. Look, it's got the little crescent moon and everything. There is, however, someone inside. See you at the next level. I also noticed that it seems like it was slowly revealing the text of the name as we scanned, which is really, really cool. All right, well, there's 9 million LIDAR dots. And that gets us everything. How does one find the exit? It's right over here. A little dock right here, directly in front of the temple. See, this is a detail that it's very easy to miss, that simply wouldn't be possible were this not a LiDAR game. We can see these trees lined up in a row, and the little dock sticking out. And so it just makes the whole location that it occupies so much prettier. Even though before we were just kind of like feeling around and just trying to get the shape. But just get the shape enough and you get something cool. Where was that? Oh, no wonder we couldn't find the exit before. It's an airboat. An airboat just for us. Or is this what we need? Uh-oh. I'm stuck. There we go. Nope, here's our exit. I thought we were gonna escape in the airboat. There we go. Animals found 2 out of 3. You've unlocked detail scanning. Ooh, what does that mean? Traveled just shy of 3 kilometers as well. Island. Okay, let's try it. Now you can use the detailed scan. Press right mouse button to activate it. Ah, so with that, we can just do a sweep in front of us. It takes a little bit more time, and it pays more to stay still while we're doing it. In fact, we have to. We slow to a crawl. But it's good for very quickly painting a picture. And that picture is already using much warmer colors. We've got pink and orange. In other words, we are very quickly establishing this as a tropical paradise. We can see things across the way, but a whole lot of water before us. I'm really digging how there's like objectives and bonus objectives within this. Like, it gives us real reason to keep looking around. If I press tab, it only counts objects, so it does not count the bonuses. And here's a scannable right here. Ooh, oh my god, look at that. It's like a skull-shaped cave entrance. Well, we got you. I just don't know what you are. I mean, other than a skull-shaped cave entrance, you know? I guess the next best thing would be to enter and see what a skull cave holds. Not much, although there is something poking up the back of your throat here. And we get the achievement for 10 million dots, but it does restart our counter right here. It doesn't appear to be counting up live anymore, although maybe it doesn't do that this low. Alright, I give up. What are you? Fossilized skull, not a skull-shaped cave. You know, with these curved trees sticking up out of the ground, every time I see them, it's not always immediately clear that they are in fact a tree. And so I end up thinking, like, is that something hanging from above? That may not be what we've seen so far, but we've seen that the game has license to do so. So let's keep an eye out. There's another boat left abandoned. Some of this imagery could almost make me think we're back in the forest. There's some kind of little structure here. A little seaside shack. What even is this thing? Some kind of statue? Not quite clear on that. Oh, I see. It's a dock where we can maybe prepare for an expedition out on the water. Now, if only we had that airboat. This shack seems a cozy place to live. Unfortunately, we cannot enter for ourselves. I'm getting all tripped up on these boards. Oh no! Splash. Oh well, nothing can harm us as far as I know. In a world with fossilized skulls that big, what does the whole being look like? Giant something. Ooh. Giant pirate skeleton. We really are just a tiny little guy. And so is the bear by extension. Look. You can see something clasped in your hand. The rest of your body fell without your hand. What is it? It's a raft. Look at that, like you emerged from the depths and crushed some unfortunate sailors who had escaped some other unfortunate circumstance. See, at first I was like, you know, maybe it would be good if they didn't tell us what the levels are until we finish them. Like, it just shows up as blank and question marks, just like the objects we have to scan, and we'd have to figure it out as we go. But here, we're not just learning about what the area is, we're learning about what kind of world it takes place in. Skeleton deer and ancient ruins and giant pirates and fossils. You never know what you're gonna get. Ooh, a lighthouse. I definitely recognize that at a glance. I was gonna say, now, if only we can climb it, but what's the point of getting the high ground when your only vision is by LIDAR? It's not like you can see anything you haven't already. We come to the map edge out there, and it's like this entire world exists in a lobster cage or in the brig of a pirate ship. Actually, your colors are changing before my eyes. And your dots are actually disappearing. From up here, we can start kind of scanning the area. Yep. Oh no, don't get stuck, don't get stuck, don't get stuck, don't get stuck, don't get stuck. Please don't get stuck. Please don't get stuck, come on. I'm stuck. Oh, wait, come on. There we go. Yeah, I haven't gotten permanently stuck just yet, and I don't know if it's giving me a little nudge when it detects that I am. But it definitely feels like the kind of game that could use an unstuck button. Oh, look at that. There's an archway here. We're in our own little pirate's cove. Wait, this would be a great place for an area scan. Here's some barrels and assorted merchandise. We are getting back to where we started, though. I guess that means, then, it's time to venture off to the desert island in the middle of the desert island. Whatever's across that water. So let's go. Does it make a difference what setting I'm on? It doesn't seem like it does for the area scan. I mean, it makes sense. It's an area scan. Here we're more clearly on the map edge. Got some structures left here. More barrels, although seemingly being used as an impromptu workbench. Maybe there's buried treasure here. Yeah, there doesn't seem to be anything, actually. Okay, further down the coast it is then. There's a watchtower someone built. Can we climb the ladder? I'm gonna assume probably not. No. Once again, not like there's anything we gain from the high ground. There is something out there, though. Looks like a half-sunken pirate ship. See, its mast collapsed. Oh, this is so cool. All these little holes in the siding. If we get around the other side, can we learn a bit more? There we are. Shipwreck. Now, I'm a little reluctant to spend too much time out on the water because, as you can see, we can only scan, like, the water that is neck deep. Other than that, it's a whole lot of openness. And openness is scary when you see this way. I mean, that's the thing. It's important to paint a big picture because otherwise you just become overwhelmed by it. When you don't know how big a space is, it's effectively infinite as far as you're concerned. In a weird way, by revealing more of the map, you're trying to make the world smaller for yourself, and therefore more comfortable. You're just taking this nothingness and converting it into something you can understand. Now, what are you? This is really more of an island chain than an island. Nope, never mind. We found the treasure chest. Now, what does said treasure chest contain, I wonder? I mean, look, if this thing is full of giant gold pieces, then each one has got to be worth a fortune. If I can carry even one... There we go. That was a good jump. Is that a sword stuck in the loot pile? Yeah, look, I think it's spilling out all over. And the sinking captain certainly isn't going to be back to reclaim it anytime soon. Unless there's a pirate's curse, which I put at about 50-50. Oh god. Actually, if I were to find treasure like this and take it for myself, I would be worried that it's like the fog. Like, sure, maybe they'll be back, but only 200 years to the day after it was lost? Timed hauntings are such nonsense. Like, I feel like if you pick something up, you deserve to know your fate immediately. Should be in the Constitution or something. None of these will this or won't it come back to bite me games. Speaking of things that might bite me, what are we seeing here? Because so far it looks like a gigantic spinal column for some long-dead creature. That fossil almost looked like a huge gorilla. What does this belong to? Well, okay, there's a house across the pond there. Skeleton of something. Look at that. Every once in a while, I think it pays to step back and really look at some of these huge structures and what they look like in the environment you've created around them. See, when you do the scan from far away, remember, these dots will land somewhere. It's just that it's got to be, you know, directly line of sight based. The further out you're scanning from, the less dense they'll be, and the less clear an image. but as far as I know, there's no limit to how far they can go. It just sort of gives the impression of losing range and effectiveness when it's so far out. Yes, you are the creature from the menu. Okay, what do you count as? Skeleton of some creature. Okay, so what is our progress looking like right now? Oh, 6 of 6. Our escape is assured. We've just got to head all the way on back. And only now, when I look at the big picture, do I see that all of this has been flowing downward. We've kept entirely to the shore, but there's a lot we have not seen, it seems like. If we wade into the water here, yes. There are still some isolated shacks up on stilts. More places where we can say land ho. It's a whole little fishing village. I mean, just look at the way these things all dance around each other. It's 3D, but it's a very open, transparent 3D. Going for the 2 stories. Oh! You're a giant crab! Hopefully you're not a giant enemy crab. But I'm not sure if you count as an animal. Well, you must. I think hearing the crackling sound, that's probably when it counted you. There's Patchy the Pirate again. I get the impression that with you out there, nobody's leaving anytime soon. Oh, look! Your whole body must be down there, because here's your feet washing up on shore. It's like you're in a giant bathtub. The afterlife is your playground. Look at this, at the base of the lighthouse. We've got another creature. And that was the last thing I wanted to hear as your sound. Granted, I'm not sure what else I would hear. Maybe you could have gone by Jaws the Revenge logic and had it roar. Nothing here. It's actually crazy, because I never once used the map to try and find the next thing, but we pretty much happened onto the major landmarks right away. I don't feel like we got an even remotely complete picture of this. Is there something over there? No. I'll be honest, for a second I thought that was a tiger on the prowl. What are you? Ah, some kind of snapping turtle, are ya? You're hiding here behind the big treasure chest. Okay, well, let's not let our hand get too close. Things are known to take fingers. And start heading back this way. The crazy thing is, these maps aren't actually very big. I mean, it's never been like more than 100 meters or so to another object. But it certainly feels like it. Same way a house would probably feel like a mansion if you had to just push your way along the walls in the dark. But over time, all is revealed. Castaway Explorer, complete the island. And we found everything. But we've been in a forest and an island. Now I think it's time for a slight change of scenery into a sunken city. This is going to be eerie. I mean, urban environments to me are just kind of inherently more creepy, and of course, your mileage may vary on that, but it's sort of like interior worlds again, in that it's kind of got something for everyone. It understands that every type of environment is a vibe, and well, people like different ones for different reasons. Of course, it's in the eye of the beholder whether this is creepier or comfier. So, my stupid self was actually just sitting here for a second wondering when it's gonna load. You weren't kidding about the sunken. All we hear is bubbles. Bubbles and movement of water around us. But because of that dampening, we can't even hear the LIDAR scanner. Or at least we very barely can. This is so cool. On the one hand, it's more relaxing. Like, these are almost sounds you would fall asleep to. But the sound of our scanner and our footsteps have kind of been a comfort through this. And now that's completely gone. It's like before we couldn't see normally, and now we can't hear normally. This game intrinsically takes our sight, but now it's taken our hearing as well. Everything is towering over me. But it's hard to identify what some of these things are. This looks like it may be just a garbage pile. Cars everywhere, and all this aquatic plant life growing up amongst it. That's crazy. I can never tell when I start scanning from the bottom. Is this going to be another streetlight or some aquatic flora? What is... ooh. Strange sea snail. I got entirely too close to this thing before I realized it was actually a creature. See, what I'm starting to realize is that this isn't just a world that's being hidden from us until we reveal it. It's also a surreal world as well. I mean, the scale is all over the place. There's all these fantastical things. And yet, in the beginning, it really did just seem like a stroll through the forest. Walking these streets that have since been overgrown with coral and plants and debris. And yet it's so wide, it can be a bit daunting to make sure everything connects. We're the bridge builder. There's a bus. What are you? We have to treat buses and buildings the same way we would treat a shipwreck. And also, I'm gonna lose it if that friggin' skeleton is down here. Oh my god, stop getting stuck on things. Stop. Stop, thank you. We have already happened onto another major structure. What is this? I think that's just rock. There's also the possibility of overdoing it. When you put that density on too much, it just looks like a blinding, glowing light. What is this? Naval mine! Well, this city was certainly lucky it didn't hit this on the way down. Or maybe it's even more than that. Maybe the city didn't come down to the ocean floor. Maybe the water levels rose, and it's just been so long that wars are being fought over what once was the city's sky. Now there's a thought. I mean, we're seeing modern things, but who's to say how far into the future this is? Broken windows and a green texture that just allows me to feel the grit and rust and barnacles and seaweed growing all over it. Every once in a while, a good scan is what's needed, but that's how you get a lot of shadows as well. Movement is the antidote to that. But yeah, it's like I scan the tops of these buildings and I look along the upper edge, and I can't help but see any detail as the railing of a shipwreck. There we can see some AC units poking out of the windows. Oh. I think this might have been a motel. Look, we've got staircases on either side, a balcony which connects these rooms. All this falling right on the side. Hello, what is that? Just some rocks. It's one of the buildings in better shape, though most of these have simply crumbled. We're moving around in the back areas now. I'm just hoping that maybe we can find some hidden animals this way. We've already got the snail. Oh, but that's not an animal. That's actually one of the important ones. Yep. We can also just sit here and layer this on thicker. But actually, when we do that, it's weird because it just becomes... When you stare at it something head on, you can't perceive it. It is actually your movement that enables you to get that sense of depth and finally understand the shape. It's just that I've been moving this entire time and I didn't even realize that. If we're going to find new things, we're going to want to be moving away from the landmarks we've already discovered. But alleyways are a whole different game to navigate when you're at the bottom of the ocean. And blind. And a robot, I guess. Oh my god, stop getting stuck. You don't want to do the scan with too many objects in the foreground, because that's how you get these shadows. But I swear, any tall, skinny thing that I see just sticking up in the middle of the road, I keep thinking that sooner or later I'm going to see a shape that looks like a person. I know it was probably meant to be humorous, but that guy in the outhouse did sort of creep me out. I guess it's the idea of having something definitively in front of you, something human, but not being able to read their face, and therefore their intentions. I mean, his intention was pretty clear, and we were interrupting it, but we couldn't see if he was angry. What is this? There's like some kind of roots, or... Whoa, claws, or maybe chains coming out of this building. Like it's being used as an anchor. What do we have to say about this? Chained building. Nope, it seems like that's about the size of it. I was right on the money, I suppose. It just doesn't clarify anything. And as yet, it seems that each world is self-contained. Once more, I didn't realize you were a thing until I was tripping over you. Literally, I hope I didn't step on your tentacles there. Alright, I will leave you be. Octopi are crazy intelligent. I mean, seriously, like, with what we know about them, it's one of those things where, like, if they could talk, we'd have to give them rights. This is one of those things that I can see becoming very interesting on a tab view, and we've yet to do that so far. So let's fix that. Oh, look. That mine is like the size of buildings. That would be one very big boom. See, this is what's cool about doing a city in LIDAR, and being underwater only makes the effect more pronounced. It really is like walking through a literal ghost city. Like, not just an abandoned city, but a city where the buildings are... I guess the best word to use would be spectral. We need to make sure those specters are complete. That's our job. Here's a path we've not yet gone down. And that reveals something beyond. Oh, there's something right here. It's not further down. This looks like an RV. Or some kind of trailer. There's the remains of some huge creature here as well. From the look of you, something ancient. Whale skeleton. Well, whales have been around for a long time, so I'm gonna count it. There's also something else right here. Look, there's a gate right beside this. A little bit of an unnecessary gate, but once we've gotten a little bit more of a scan on this skeleton, then we'll see what that gate leads the entrance to. There's poles with banners running between them. Flags on top of little huts. Is this maybe like a fair or a carnival? Sure seems like it, like a place of festivities. Yeah, we have a little teacup ride right here. At the bottom of the ocean. And this is really interesting because with how deep down we are, presumably it is actually pitch black right now. We could only see this with LIDAR. I'll tell you what we can explain though. Is why the Ferris wheel is still running. Well, we can't even see the imagery as we normally perceive it. And I can already feel how eerie this is. This thing turning silently in the dark, long after anyone who ever perceived it is long dead. Back behind it? Not that I can see. behind things is where we need to keep an eye out for animals. That's why I'm so insistent on looking around. I don't know why I'm trying to justify looking around and being thorough to an audience that clicked on this video and is still watching at this point. I don't know, I guess I have the mindset of trying to do things as concisely as possible, but this is a game that wants you to indulge. And so indulge I shall. Oops, let me over. Let me over. What is this? Oh, this looks like maybe bumper cars. But I'm not sure what these objects floating within them are. Are those just rocks? No, they seem to be floating. That is very strange. They're not suspended from the ceiling as far as I can tell. This is a chair swing. And I keep looking around and I just keep thinking, wow, perfect objects to be overgrown with weeds. It's weird, it's combining imagery without actually combining it. I think that's about all for here. How many objects have we scanned? 5 out of 7. So it's not always the same. There's plenty of darkness out that way. So let's go that way. See, on the one hand, we search to banish the darkness, but in the same breath, we crave darkness. Because the darkness is where opportunity lies. There was something back there. I'm just trying to flesh out this a little more. A gas station. Man-made creations submerged deep. I mean, people on their daily routines stopped here maybe every few mornings on the way to work and had no idea what it would eventually become, the context in which an explorer would someday pass through it, and be in awe of what was such a mundane shore to them. That's one of the things I love the most about exploring abandoned environments, thinking about the people who had no idea what it would eventually be. It seems like we've got some trailers and or shipping containers. A chair up on a post. That looks like barbed wire. Is this maybe some kind of military outpost? There's a house here completely overtaken. I really hope all of this comes across on video because depth perception is kind of king. Compression could potentially ruin this. I'm just encouraged by the fact that LIDAR videos have come out okay in the past. And we've swung right back around to Senior Naval Mine. We're going to try our best not to disturb him. Ooh, there's a way through here, a path. And a new object to scan. We're moving away from the city itself now, though. We're on the outskirts, and the area we're exploring now is much more of just the ocean floor. This actually is giving me somewhat of a Soma vibe. Interestingly enough, I've only just realized that even the soundtrack is cut out, or more likely it's just obscured by the water. What is that? Is that a bridge? A bridge which has collapsed. We stand in the ruins of a great cataclysm. You're pointing me here. Oh, we've actually discovered two things very close by to each other. Alright, you're not what we're looking at. Ooh. But you are. I had mistaken you for rocks from map edge. In reality, I think the observation I kept making is finally correct. We've got a sunken vessel. What's interesting is that of the things we've seen, this is the one most closely associated with abandonment and the ocean floor. And yet, chronologically, it probably arrived later than the city did. Oh my, I have really gotten myself stuck here. Because I'm walking over a bridge. Is there anything beneath that bridge I'd like to know about? Not that I can see. Anything hiding around corners? Nope. Because it's been a while, let's hit tab again. Well, there is one more thing out there. But as before, it seems like we're trending downward without even realizing it. Looks like this was once a sewer exit. Funny, this city once dumped its water, or its wastewater, out this way. Now it's sitting in it. There's some huge objects dangling above us. Things are just widening so much now. We can go into this building. Or whatever it is. And out the back. Huh. This may, and in fact likely is, just part of the shipwreck, yes. Actually, there seem to be many shipwrecks all in a line. Oh no. Not railings on a shipwreck, this is a fence. Which we can get around. Let's just cast out some feelers. Look. Some kind of fuel storage or industrial site? That would explain the ditch right here for the waste. Could this even maybe be a nuclear cooling tower? I think this is a nuclear power plant. So that's on the list of things you don't want becoming submerged. I mean, for the cost alone. It's getting really difficult to navigate. You're so enclosed. Diver. But there's no acknowledgement either way. That was so creepy, just standing there. After all this time exploring in the crevices between these buildings. And we just freeze when we realize that you are a humanoid shape, and we are forced to just stand there and slowly scan you as letter by letter is revealed. That was exceptionally creepy. We're not just Soma right now, we're also Narcosis. More gaps in the fence. But we're not finding enough. Presumably we can leave now, but there's gotta be more animals. You know, I thought it was weird at first that we could actually walk around in this view. But now that I see it in motion, it actually makes a lot of sense. It actually makes it a lot easier to navigate when you have this view of the bigger picture. We're actually already really, really close to the end. But as before, I'm going to spend a little bit more time on this trying to find some animals. This van is blocking my way. See, look, here's a whole area we simply have not seen yet. How far back does this go? Maybe I'm asking the wrong questions. That's a weird amount of movement to have. Wait, is that sea snail maybe actually moving across the map? I mean, I doubt it, but once again, that's a weird level of movement that we're seeing. Actually, I have no idea where I've gotten off to now. Oh no, that's the Ferris wheel. There is so much I haven't even begun to see. Look at this, to the left and to the right, the remains, the shattered ruins of buildings. It's like nautical I Am Legend. This building is like partially collapsed. I don't even know what's holding it up. I guess its own base. But that is quite an angle that it would not be able to sustain on the surface. The ghost city is coming to life indeed now. Look, it's one of those portable lights. Still, there's a strange lack of life in an ecosystem like this. I think the only animal we've actually found is the octopus. A gazebo. Wait, no, I think we've just come upon the bumper cars again. So what kind of animal would be attracted to bumper cars? Look at that, crumbled buildings in a huge forest. And with a Ferris wheel spinning in the background. Some of the visuals this game is able to get across are incredible. But once again, not finding any mammals. Just lots and lots of crumbling towers. These towers right here are just the creepiest thing to me. I'm also pretty sure at this point that it is, like, reducing the density of the dots as time goes on. I have come back and found things, like, less visible. But I'm not finding anything as far as animals go. So I think at this point I am just gonna move on. Oops. And as it happens, there is our exit right over there. So let's get going. I think that's the diver. We can see it through the walls. There we go. We actually found 2 out of 3 animals. So I'm not sure what the other one counted as. I don't remember, but we've unlocked bat scan. What does that mean? And also, presumably we can go back and use the tools we unlock, right? Look at that, it even gives us little stickers for the animals we find. I guess the whale counts. Suburb. Well, that's a very dark liminal image right there. Let's go. Bats are now available to you. Press E to use them. Wait, I thought that would be like an acronym or something. Look at that, echolocation. Now there is something I haven't seen in one of these games before. And we can cast you out in whatever direction. You're like a LIDAR grenade. You've got your uses, particularly in very vertical areas. Oh, I cannot tell you what a relief it is to have this sound back. Not just any suburbs, but suburbs from a particular time and place. Here's a fence and a tractor out by the mailbox. A house with the power lines running right in front of it. It's really more like a dream of an old world that maybe never existed in quite this way, but is nevertheless everyone's thought. And no one answered. Bats, go see what's over there. That is actually tremendously useful for seeing what's ahead. A playground. This is really neat because the colors that it chooses for these things have no objective reason to be one way or another for the most part, but it's almost acting like a color filter for a level. Plus the associations do kinda match. It's just you couldn't explain why. It's like when you bite into a gusher and you say like, oh yeah, no, this tastes red. Looked like a bit of a hard landing there, buddy. Oh, a wheelbarrow. And some trucks. So is this like a farm or work site that we're stumbling onto? Looks like it. These look like greenhouses or chicken coops. I mean, with these things and the tractor, this feels less suburban and more farm life. But who knows, maybe there's more to this. We've got something huge there, and I'm gonna throw in my prediction and say that it's gonna be a water tower. Oh, maybe not though. It's actually entirely suspended. Is that a hot air balloon? That is crazy, but in this context, it actually looks more like a bioluminescent jellyfish suspended in the void. Nothing around it to catch my dots. This is all tilled soil from the look of it. And there's something out there. Look, we can see the rolling hills, the streets in front of the houses. It's only from a distance we can see just how wavy this land actually is. Into the woods with you, where you belong. Now, where were we getting a contact? Ah, here's a combine harvester. Go ahead and make me want to play some Farm Simulator. You know you don't have the time. There was one summer where I got really, really addicted to Farm Simulator 2015. And, you know, when you're an addict, you're always addicted. And every time I see something relating to farm equipment, I think about playing that game again. A big rubber duck. You know, if I had a nickel for every farm community I knew that was represented by a big duck, I'd have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it's happened twice. What's out here? Oh, whatever it is, it's big. Really big. In fact, it seems like these environments are getting wider and more open the further we go. Probably because we're getting more comfortable with exploring. Is that an observatory telescope? It seems so. I don't know what any of this has to do with the suburbs, but I'm certainly digging it. Let's get all the way around. Remember, this is for the completeness on the later map. There's a windmill that we can see turning. Multiple, in fact. That seems like a job for bats. Oh, it's a whole wind farm. I'm telling you, that balloon is going to make for some crazy views in the map. Let's just get a little bit more, and then we'll go see. These fence posts keep making me think there's someone standing there. I'm actually thoroughly lost. Look. I mean, those denser areas of dots kind of look like headlights, don't they? But it wasn't until I actually looked at the map view, got the context of the houses around me, and everything on the sides of the road that I realized I was on a street. It really is like one of those hidden image things where the further back you pull your vision, the more clearly you can see it. You spend your time looking at the dots, you can very literally miss the forest for the trees. Oh, I think we have an animal. We've got clothes drying on the racks outside. Now, this is communal living. These houses are really weirdly spaced, really weirdly sitting on these hills, but you can't deny you'd form a sense of community in a place like this. I mean, everything is just so close together, much more than what I'm used to. Oh, this is one of those outdoor pools, or, I mean, imagine most pools are outdoor, one of those above-ground pools. Use detailed scan 150 times. I am just popping achievements left and right around here. Everywhere we explore is just frozen in time, but not everything is necessarily meant to be creepy. All of that is up to you. It's just showing you a place as it exists. It's, in a way, as objective as it could possibly be. Okay, here's the street we came down at first. There are still things behind us. Your pool appears to be right in the middle of the road. But when we see it this objectively, we're missing any of the context, any of the texture that would enable us to make guesses as to what actually happened here. We've got something on the other side of this outcrop. But what is it? That actually looks like a graveyard. A heartbeat in a graveyard. Try and find the source before time runs out for them, huh? Crypt. Oh, look, we can even make out the stained glass on the sides. I feel like with each level that passes by, I'm having a harder and harder time actually being able to see what's in front of me. Things get a little easier when I lean back in my seat a little more. But I think after this video is squashed down to 1440p and you're looking at it in a window, actually that might be something to try. If you're having a hard time seeing what I'm doing, you could try watching it in windowed mode. I swear I heard more heartbeat. A whole yard we somehow hadn't seen. And some very big sunflowers growing. I mean, look, the idea of an idyllic town shown in a creepy light is certainly nothing new, but this might be the first time I've seen it done in quite this way. I'm seeing a big dark gulf in the road here. So maybe there's something this way? I can't tell if we're in the middle of the farm area, or at least getting to it. No, we've got to be. Oh, hey, we found a rooster. Mama had a chicken, Mama had a cow. Dad was proud and he didn't care how. Wonder what other animals might reside. I imagine most of them will be in the farm, right? What's hanging from the tree here? Is that just a snapped branch? There's something up there. Oh, look at that. It's a plane towing a banner. Is it you? Yes, it is. That's my Steam profile picture. Drawn by my friend Sarah. Look at that. Well, there we go. Airplane with advertising. Man, that's dystopian. The rubber duck underneath all these huge power lines. That's everything. We can head towards the exit now. And I'm not going to spend a huge amount of time looking for this third animal, because that can take forever. But then again, maybe that's just my luck. There's another pool here and something in it. And it doesn't look like another big rubber duck. There we go! Goose. We even got an achievement, find the goose. Alright, well, now we can take our leave. Oh, and of course, holding almost equal importance to the no-clip run in the Explorer of a Gary's Mod map, we've got to see what this whole thing looks like. Wait, I'm actually curious. Will you still do the effect on the map? You will, to an extent. I just want to look around so you can see the whole and why I find this map so cozy. Look at this. It's these rolling fences and houses and light posts. I don't know, maybe that's just me living on the South Shore of Long Island, which is basically a flatgrass map that's been paved over with concrete, but this kind of thing is super appealing to me. Like, it gives it this old world vibe while still being familiar. This area is called Suburbs, but it's got like a mix of suburban and more rural things. It's got a mix of more modern and old-timey technology and tropes. And it's just also nice and pleasant. Again, while presenting it in this way. Let's go. Urban Explorer, complete the suburb. Oh, the goose didn't count as an animal. Well, it did count as an achievement, so that's even better. Look at you, just placed right in the corner. There we are. And next up is the desert. But look, there are 8 worlds total. We've done 4. Maybe I'll come back and do the rest in the future. I mean, splitting this up into 2 parts, absolutely fine by me, because this is an absolute blast to play. Set to chill music, and with the horror coming only in some of the imagery, the way it presents to us, and the inherent nature of LIDAR itself, it is very much a laid-back exploration game at its core, and that's why I can't help but be reminded of interior worlds more than things like Scanner Somber. At the heart of this, it's about coming to see the environment for what it is. It's like opening a package little by little, and only once we have the full image do we get to truly appreciate it. And of course, the way we appreciate it is largely up to us. We're bringing a lot of ourselves into whether it leans more towards creepy and comfy. It guides us along with the objectives, but those objectives aren't about unlocking doors or getting something done. It's just about making sure we see everything. Little lines for us to pull so that we'll see everything along the path, and it is about the journey. Even the findables are like that. And let's not discount the gameplay either. Because it's in such a dreamlike setting, it's able to give us tools that wouldn't work in most of these games. I mean, a lot of the time, it's more in the sci-fi horror genre, but here, it's able to do crazy things like the bats, something which doesn't make any sense as a tool, but which does sort of make dream sense. I mean, only a little difference between LIDAR and echolocation, right? At least as far as we perceive it. This is a tremendous amount of fun. Thanks once again to the creator for providing me with this key, and I cannot wait to try the other ones. But that'll have to wait until next time. Until then, if you like this video, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe for more creepy and comfy content. If you have any ideas for other videos you think I should do, the best place to suggest that will be at the Discord, which I will link in the description. If you want to try this game out for yourself, that link will also be in the description. If you want to support me on Patreon, that link will be in the description. And as always, I will see you in the next one. Goose.